around and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here for the Svenska eRacingligan racing here at Auto Club Speedway for the Team Lockarp 400, or Team Lockarp Racing 400. Getting the playoffs ready to roll here, but before we get started with that, I'm Liam Irving, joined up in the booth by Corey B. Corey, it's a little bit earlier than our normal Sunday time slot, but here we are ready to rock on this afternoon for us with these guys running in the evening. How you feeling today?
Pretty good, and yeah, I mean, it is early for us on the east coast of the United States, but over there in Sweden, where all these drivers live at, it is currently 8 o'clock, so about normal time for them.
Yes, sir, and what's kind of not normal about this week is we got some playoff action here. We'll throw up the graphic here for you. Starting up the round of 10 here, Racing Auto Club, and then Dover next time out. Jesper Eriksson leads the point standings over Alexander Eraldson, then Linus Brostrom, Michael Hopladasson, and Daniel Solo. Currently up in the top 5 in the points, and we got Jonas Gunnarsson, Eric Lixt, Daniel Homer, Oscar Fredrickson, and Robert Eriksson on the risk of being eliminated. But of course, this is right after the reset for the points here, so we've got a lot of time, or a lot of situations that can unfold for these guys. Things can definitely flip-flop here in the point standings.
Yeah, absolutely. They got 2 weeks worth of racing for this round of 10 in the playoffs, and then they chop it down to 5 drivers. So 5 of those 10 will eventually be eliminated.
And then we'll have 5 more racing for the championship in just a few weeks' time. But for right now, we've got qualifying getting going. We see some of these drivers getting out onto the racetrack. Oscar Fredrickson, Jonas Skoglund, Bjorn Brostrom out there. I believe the format for these guys is they take 20 from qualifying, and then if they need to, they'll do a little bit of a B main to fill out the 43 cars in the field. Doesn't look like that'll be necessary today.
Yeah, well, I think they still have to run their heat races whether or not they have more than the 43 cars that they get. So we're going to see a small little heat race before the main 125 lapper here.
A little appetizer before the full course here tonight.
Absolutely. See which driver here gets the first lap laid down. They get 2 laps to try to get it done for a pole.
Jonas Fors coming up off of turn 4. Kenneth Tier, the first one to put a lap down with a 40.81. Eric Blix gets out there with a 40.92. Daniel Solo up to the top of the 40.59. Robert Eriksson as well. Kim Nyholm. Linus Brostrom.
See if anybody can't top a 40.587. That's set by Daniel Solo. So far, see if anybody can top them on their second lap, or if anybody else can top it on the first lap of theirs. And there you go. You got a couple of them now topping it off on their second.
See if Daniel Solo can improve, get back to that top spot that he had before. A 40.29 for Jonas Gunnarsson, a 40.34 for Daniel Solo. Puts him up into second place. He's going to stay out on the track. We've got Tony Ovenen out here in the 84 machine. Currently sitting in 12th place, hoping to improve on that one.
You got Alexander Rod's son out there. He's taking his hot lap here.
Yeah, kind of taking his time, seeing what everybody else puts down before he goes out, figures out what he's got to put down, figure out where he's going to start here. But taking the green flag, and will be our final car to do so, to take the green. Everybody else has gotten out, started a lap at least. Fleety Johansson coming out here out of turn 2 on his second lap. Daniel Homer as well on the second lap. Robert Erling has gotten up into the top 10.
So right now, the only ones that can top off for the pole could be Alexander, or if Hafildley here can improve on his lap, and we're going to find out a little bit better, 40.605 for Haflidi. We'll see where Alexander can end out.
The first lap of 40.88, not the fastest first lap we've seen, but there's definitely time to improve here with just under a minute left in qualifying. Rocking that top side, and I think one of the things that's going to be most interesting about that top side or most interesting about this race is how much that top side is going to be used. We're going to see a lot of fanning out, a lot of guys go to the bottom, a lot of guys go to the top. This track is virtually raceable everywhere on the racing surface, so that's going to be a lot of fun for us to watch as Alexander Erldson comes out of turn number 4 to finish off his qualifying run. We'll see where he gets to.
pole.
Oh, wow. A pole time for Alexander Arnoldson. Saving the best for last right there with the 40-26.
Last car to take a time, and he tops them all.
Yeah, that's definitely how you want to do it here is we get ready to rock and roll here once again. Looks like we are going to go ahead and jump into this little heat race. So we're going to have Eric Lundberg, Amelie Fagrel, Martin Lejesnik, Daniel Holmer, and Johan Larson. Apologies if we're saying names wrong. Do our best up here.
So there we go. We got 5 of them. 5 of them on the grid on pit road here. Get them off and rolling behind the iRacing pace truck. 10 laps. Everybody moves on. This is pretty well setting for 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Yeah, these guys kind of racing for the right to not start last here. So
Couple
Team
of good-looking paints.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of that 18 with the yellow, red, and purple on it. Mostly yellow and purple, but a little bit of red there on the bottom.
Okay, I like the 79. But that's because it's basic.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Definitely a sucker for the simplicity.
And you got Johan Larson back there. He's rocking Team Lockarp Racing on the hood of that car. So, the race sponsor here today, wherever you're watching.
Yeah, definitely appreciate those guys jumping on with us here today. We're gonna have 10 laps. The anti-last place race. Pace car goes in. These guys waiting for that green flag to drop, and there it is. Green flag is in the air. We've got 5 guys. Call it our qualifying dash. World of Outlaws will have a qualifying dash to see who starts on the pole. We're gonna do it to kind of see who starts in last. These guys already fanning out. Johan Larson, 3 wide in the back there. Amelie stuck in the middle. Daniel Holmer in that bright esports car getting up to the top side of Amelie as well now. Eric Lundberg continues to lead, though, and he's got a hefty gap over Martin Lejesnik.
And this little run here, 10 laps, it's significant enough. You can figure out what your car's going to do on a short run. I'd say they're all just going to play it smart here and figure it out.
Oh, absolutely. 9 laps to go. Eric Lundberg holding on to the lead by about half a second as of right now and increasing that. I don't know if 10 laps is going to be enough time for these tires to really wear out and get these guys worried, but we'll see here as Johan Larson and Daniel Holmer are now both all over the back bumper of Martin Lejesnik.
Yeah, throw 3 cars under the blanket there. Battle for second. It's being held on by Martin Lejesnik. You got Johan Larson right there and Daniel Homer. Amelia Fagrel, she's fell back here.
How about a second off of the pack? Not a good start for Fagrel here, but getting some practice laps in, laps logged. It's going to be a long race, 125 laps. Definitely some more time for recovery. Look at this. You see 3 different cars, 3 different lines through turns 3 and 4. It's one of my favorite things about this track. And now we're going to see Daniel Homer. What kind of run can he get up on the top side, chasing these 2 guys down in front of him, punching a huge hole in the air. Now you see that 57 looks down to the inside, tries a little bit of side draft, and now once again, 3 different cars, 3 different lanes. Here comes Homer down on the bottom side to try to take advantage of both of them. Gonna get close. Not quite there. Almost made a little bit of contact coming out of turn number 2.
Well, who would have ever thought we'd see 3 wide with 5 cars on the track, but there you have it, folks. You seen it happen live and almost turned disastrous before it didn't.
Yeah, almost did. This is a super racy bunch out here. 5 cars or 50 cars, they're going to show you what they got. 6 laps to go, and that gap out front is decreasing a little bit now as Martin Lechesnik has gotten back down to about half a second. Lundberg a little bit stronger coming out of 2 that time, though.
Well, you know, Martin has a little bit of draft help from behind from Johan, maybe playing dividends and how they're able to catch up to Eric up at the front here. Not to mention, you know, you can try out different lines, see where you're going to gain more time on a shorter run, not so much on a long run, but definitely going to figure something out.
Yeah, you definitely are. Eric's kind of figuring out this top side for right now. He's keeping these guys at bay behind him by about that half a second mark. And now they're starting to get side by side for second. Johan Larson to the inside of Lechesnik. Now Homer, he's got a huge hole in the air in front of him. Where's he going to go? He's going to go down to the bottom side. Just try to get around both of them. Gets right up next to that white line, but I don't know. He's going to be able to get there. These guys 3 wide once again coming up off of turn 4.
Oh my, 3 wide for second. You see there, Martin threw the block on Johan and shut the door. Now Johan goes to the high side. Daniel still bottom. Martin in the middle. This is a good little race going on. 3 cars per second.
And Martin Lechesnik able to hold on to second now. These guys side by side for third. Lechesnik trying to keep his competition side by side behind him. Meanwhile, Eric Lundberg has run away with this as we've got 3 laps to go this time by.
Now, I'm not saying anything is a big difference starting inside or outside here, but, I mean, you gotta wonder if maybe if you finish second, you're gonna start 22nd. If you get third here, you're going to start 23rd. If you get fourth, you're going to start 24th. Do you want the inside or outside? And look at this again, 3 wide.
Man, these guys are not giving up at all. I don't know if there's an advantage to starting inside or outside to your point there, Corey, but these guys are racing like there is.
I don't think they care where they start. They just want to be the highest one of the 3 here, and Eric is liking the battle behind him because he's able to pull away.
Yeah, he's got a second and a half on these guys now, a second and a third just about, as they're now once again trading second place. Homer gets down to the bottom, going to try to get himself clear up to the top, does clear himself, and now here we go, the 57 with the crossover.
The thing here is Homer and Johan are trying to go for a tie on the hard charger in this little heat race. Right now, they're tied. If Johan passes Homer, he's on the hard charger in this little B-main heat race.
Eric Lundberg wins the heat race, crosses the line. Now Daniel Homer's going to take away second. Johan Larson in third. Martin Lechesnik in fourth. And Amelie Fagerl in fifth place.
You're about 1 lap short. We're on the white flag.
Oh, man, I just did the Marty Reed.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's all right. Eric Lundberg got a second and a half, but I tell you what, I'll let you take the finish.
There we go. Just a little bit under a half mile to go here, maybe. I'm not good on the track distance, but Homer holding into second there. Johan versus Martin one last time. Give the win to Eric, though. Homer picks up second. Johan third. Martin fourth. And Mealy come home fifth.
Well, that was a little bit better. Appreciate that, Corey. Apologies for the little faux pas there on the white flag.
We're all humans. We all make mistakes, but that brings us around here into our 125 lap race.
Yes, sir. 125 lap feature to get it done here. The team Lockarp 400 at Auto Club Speedway. We'll go ahead and run through your starting order. On the pole, Alexander Eraldson. Second place, Jonas Gunnarsson. Sorry about that. Yep. Jonas Gunnarsson. Then we've got Daniel Solo, Linus Brostrom, Robert Eriksson, Jesper Eriksson, Hakan Schott, Andre Salander, Michael Hofladassen, Oscar Fredrickson rounding out the top 10. Robert Erling. Oops, sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to call him out, but
Robert Erling, Eric Blixt, Kim Nyholm, Kenneth Tier, Haflidi Johansson, Jonas Fors, Tony Ovanin, Bjorn Brostrom, Jonas Skoglund, Peter Helmbro, Eric Lundberg, Daniel Holmer, Johan Larson, Martin Lejesnik, and then rounding out the field will be Amelie Fagro.
So good 25 cars here for 125 laps. Alexander and Jonas then are two hitting a 40.2 in qualifying. Not sure that makes a huge difference come the long run, but on the shorter runs, that might help them out.
Tell you what is going to help out is track position. When you've got 25 guys ready to roll here at a big track like this, it's going to be easy to get distance separated between you and the leaders and easy to get longer green flag runs in. That's going to make track position pretty key here, I think. But we've got the pace car. Going to make that hard left turn. Green flag is in the hands of the starter, Alexander Eraldson. Going to lead him down, and there it goes. Green flag back in the air once again. Well, for the first time today here in the feature, Eraldson and Gunnarsson. Now we go 3 wide. Daniel Solo down to the bottom of that 13 machine, and these guys already fanning out 3 wide almost everywhere. Look at this, almost pack racing going on. Coming up off of turn number 2, but there's contact down the back straightaway. A couple of cars get turned down to the inside. That's Andre Solander. Looks like made heavy contact to the inside wall. That's on the apron, though. It doesn't bring out a caution. That 140 machine's going to be able to drive away. Peter Helmbro just getting out of the pits now. He's going to have started from the pit lane. Alexander Eraldson is going to lead lap number 1 over Jonas Gunnarsson, Daniel Solo, Jesper Eriksson, and Eric Blixt. Single file for the first 6. That's side by side, just inside the top 10. And a little bit of 3 wide action.
Yeah, you definitely got to be semi-passive aggressive here on the beginning stages of this race. It's one of those tracks that it does wear your tires out a little bit more than elsewhere, that has a little bit smoother of a surface. So got to get as much as you can early on. If you want to save, but it's going to make it all much harder at later stages of the run to make up spots. And unfortunately, out of that first lap wreck, Linus Brostrom ended up with a meatball flag. He'll go pit side and try to get that thing repaired.
We'll go ahead and take a look to see what happened there. Didn't bring out the caution, but as things get a little bit separated. See him getting 3 wide. Linus gets put up into the wall. Contact with the 35. The 140 here is kind of an innocent bystander. Just nowhere to go. 35 kind of slides up, hits the 71. That gets the 71 out into the outside wall. Probably broke a toe link there.
So a
Doesn't
couple
look like
cars.
it broke a toe link, but
Yeah. definitely a toe link, and unfortunately for those two drivers, they don't get a quick fix. But, you know, they did come back out on track. They're only one lap down apiece. But you get a caution here, it can save their race.
Yeah, it certainly can. Plus, we've got a long way to go here. Attrition could definitely be a factor for some of those guys that maybe had some early troubles so far. We've got a long way to go here. 5 laps complete. Haraldson holds on to the race lead over Jonas Gunnarsson, Jesper Eriksson, Daniel Solo, and Eric Blixt. Hafledasson is side by side with Blixt, or with Hakan Schott, actually, rather. He's going to complete that pass coming up out of turn number 4. Now Schott's going to have Kim Nyholm all over the back bumper. 58 machine working down the front straightaway. It looks down to the inside. Going to work that bottom side, or middle side rather, in turns 1 and 2. Trying to work down the bottom of the 101 machine. It's going to give Robert Erling a chance to get up in behind these guys as well. You see him side by side for positions just back behind these guys. Chesnick, he's come quite a ways from where he started. Saw him in the heat race, or in the B main rather. But definitely had to start towards the back, outside of the top 20. He's gotten his way up to 13th place, up 11 spots.
Yes, he has right now. That's your hard charger, and that is some paint scheme. Oh my, it is very, very colorful. Has every color you could possibly imagine. I mean, that is an intricate little design. Not to mention he's got a Volkswagen grille on the front of that. That is a Ford originally, but they converted it to a Volkswagen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see as these guys are in a Daytona style pack here. Got them 2 by 2 by 2, and then a straggler just behind. Absolutely phenomenal racing going on here, just inside of the top 15 and outside, as Daniel Homer trying to get around Martin Lechesnik. This guy's picking up the same battle that they left off with in the B main. Eric Lundberg back here as well. He's also up 5 spots from where he started. Homer up 7. So a lot of these guys that were in our B main are working their way up through the field pretty good.
Yes, they are, and this has been a good, clean race so far, other than the little contact we had back on lap 1. Everybody's strung out now. You got small little packs throughout the field. You get about 5 of them out at the front, and then a little gap to a P6, and you get about another 6 cars in a smaller pack that's led by Tony Ovinen. And then you go back a little further to Martin Lechesnik's pack. He's got about 6 of them.
Couple of different packs kind of separating in this one so far. But racy everywhere they are. The top 5 separating now from 6th place, Michael Hafledasson. Looks like we're going to start to get these guys racing for the lead. It's just a matter of who wants to get up there and take it. Now Jesper Eriksson gets up in 2nd place, going to try to clear up in front of that 33. 33 comes back down to crossover in that Volvo, with a big push from Daniel Solo in the 13. Solo's got a fan in the chat. We always love to see that. As now the 33 goes down to the inside. Little bit of contact for the race lead. Slows both of these guys down. 37 thought about going up top. Nowhere to go, but now here comes the 13 of Solo. Going to try to get his way to the front. Top side's going to prevail, though, with the 37 of Jesper Eriksson with a huge push to the back of the 24. Alexander Araldson. Was Araldson out front by a couple of car lengths now, coming out of 4, but 37, strong run. Where's he going to go? Stays right on the back bumper of Eraldson.
Yeah, well, I imagine with these two being teammates, Alexander and Jesper there, I don't believe they would want to do battle too hard, as you got three of them behind them that are all on the same team as well. You see it within the paint schemes. They all look very, very similar, other than the main color and the number colors.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. These guys might be trying to work together a bit more as a team to knock off the team in front of them. All of this racing has allowed Michael Hafladasa to get a little bit closer and continue to separate from Tony Ovinen and the rest of these guys behind him. Oscar Fredrickson up in this battle as well, trying to take away the 8th spot from Kim Nyholm.
Yeah, Tony's pack, Tony Ovenen's pack back there. He's holding on to 7th. Tony is. You got Kim Nyholm, Oscar Fredrickson, Jonas Skoglund, Hakan Shot, and a little bit behind you got Robert Earling. That pack has gone single file.
About a second back to Martin Lejesnik. Kind of separated a little bit from Jonas Forers and the rest of the guys behind him. Now these guys single filing out as well. See if they're going to try to draft up and catch up to this pack up in front of them, or if those guys are going to be able to drive away. As now they get side by side for 13th, or for 14th rather, with Jonas Forrest and Kenneth Tier. Forrest now works out of the inside. Nope, he's going to slot in behind that 16 machine. Moves to the top side of the 16 now. These guys side by side once again.
Good little battle back here. We're on the 13th spot. You got them 2 by 2. Got the brightly colored Martin Lejesnik and the black and brown Jonas Forers.
These guys getting off, almost getting down into the corner. Look at the 78 come down to try to take some of the air away from Martin. Looks like it's going to work out. He's got the run coming up off of 4. Martin slots back in line. Now is Homer going to try to pull out.
And Homer Martin, they both started in the heat race. Same with Johan Larson in the same group, and Eric Lundberg, who picked up the win in the little B main non-direct transfer qualifier event. And look at this, 3 wide just about there for momentarily. That was Lundberg on the bottom, Homer up on the high side. That was Kenneth Tier in the blue car, the blue and gray, Dale Earnhardt looking paint.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Dale Jr.'s Nationwide car a little bit there.
I think that's what the goal was.
One of his many Nationwide cars. Back up front, though, things are changing hands. Jonas Gunnarsson gets out front. Now look at that block that the 24 put on the 13. Almost a little bit of contact getting down there into the corner, but Eraldson not going to take this lightly, fighting back hard on the inside to try to take back the lead. Across the line that time, it was Jonas Gunnarsson. Now Eraldson is able to take the lead back on the bottom side. What looks to be a power move on that 33 machine. Now here comes the 33 looking back. A little bit of help, a little bit of a run down to the inside. These guys just might start trading sliders back and forth.
Well, right now you got 3 teammates versus 1 solo car out there. That's Alexander, the lone wolf out at the front of the pack here. He's now dropped down into second behind Jonas Gunnarsson. Jonas has teammates Daniel Solo, Eric Blix right there. They all 3 run on the high side as Alexander goes down low. Gonna pull the slider on Jonas out of turn number 2. He gets it done. Will Jonas now look to the inside, down the back chute, alongside the palm trees here at Auto Club.
Guys trading the lead back and forth every single corner. This is awesome stuff. This time around, it looks like that 33 is going to be able to get the job done and clear the 24, but for how long? Down the front straightaway.
Lap 20 this time by not too far into this race. This race has been going on for a little while. It doesn't seem like it, though. 20 laps is a long way around this place.
40 miles complete. These guys are flying through this one. It's been super clean so far, and now 2 of the teammates have been able to get around the 24. Looking for that third one. And for anybody who's wondering, the 37 was up here racing with these guys. He had to make an unscheduled pit stop to come into the pits. Now sits at 25th. He's gotten out of the pits, but is a couple of laps down.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, it does look like he did lose internet connection. That kind of tied his hand there into losing 2 laps. So you got 3 of them a lap down at least. The first one being Linus Brostrom, and then Andre Solander 2 laps, and Jesper Eriksson, who was up at the front before losing that internet.
Yeah, it's definitely not a way you want to lose a race, especially when you were starting out front. Pretty strong, but still got a long ways to go. Some cautions could help him out. For right now, the top 5 are single file. 3 of these guys are teammates running 1, 2, 3. Now you see that 24 goes back down to the bottom to try to take away third place. Slides up the racetrack quite a bit. Has to let up off of the gas a little bit, and that's going to allow Eric Blix to get back to his outside and complete that pass.
Yeah, and while all this is going on, it's allowing your 5th place guy, Michael Hafleetison, to catch up. He's now almost to the back bumper of the 24 of Alexander, and he will get there by the time they get the turn on.
And that's just kind of been his strategy throughout the course of this thing. He's just been holding on to this lead pack. He hasn't been getting up there racing with these guys super hard. But he's been getting up there, holding on to these guys. Hasn't let their draft go away. And, you know, he's sitting P5, having a strong run because of it.
Well, and another thing is he hasn't been burning up his tires as much riding back there in the draft. He's able to save a little bit of fuel, and I think he's a contender right here. He's right now door to door with Alexander. See if he can make the pass done. Just doesn't have enough clearing yet.
Oh, but it looks like these teammates out front, they're going to try to give him the advantage with the draft on the inside. A little bit of contact there with the 24 and the 81. Hafledassen and Eraldson getting into it, getting down into the corner. See if Hafledassen is able to get up and clear. Well, he was in front of the 24, but he wasn't able to get in between the 24 and the 95 coming off of turn number 2.
That's what I call clear on the back, not on the front.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As now Eraldson back down to the inside, racing with Daniel Solo and Eric Blix once again. But those guys on the top side not helping that 24 at all.
Lap 25 in the books. We're going to have 100 laps to go when they get to the line next time by. That'll be another 200 miles for these drivers here around the big track of Auto Club. Unfortunately, going to a short track, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it.
I love short track racing. It's the if you're a team owner, you might not like to foot that bill, but short track racing's an absolute blast. Dover's one of the tougher ones here. As you see that 24 get right up to the back bumper of Hafledassen, almost trying to push him along, but doesn't seem to have the desired effect there going down the back straightaway. Eraldson has now fallen down to 5th place. With Hafledassen back up in 4th. Hafledassen riding in the Audi colors. The Audi front end there. Kind of an Audi Mustang hybrid. These guys over in Europe have a lot of different manufacturers that they'll work with to get on these Cup cars. We're stuck with just the Toyotas, Chevys, and Fords. These guys get to be a little bit more creative with the Volvos, Volkswagens, and Audis. So I think that's a pretty cool thing about these leagues. You get to see the creativity of some of these guys changing it up. I mean, along with your standard Chevy, Ford, and Toyota.
Absolutely love to see different manufacturers being used here. One of the more unique leagues where everybody is from Sweden, or that area, that given area.
Yeah, we appreciate them letting us come in here and broadcast their leagues. Look at this 3-4 wide action for second place. We appreciate them letting us get out here and broadcast their league. We know we butcher a lot of names, but I'm told that that they laugh at us and have good fun with it. So we're super happy to be a part of it. And any chuckles that we can provide you, we're definitely happy to do so, although we're not intending to butcher any names.
Well, I was fixing to say, we're on lap 28, see where pit stops occur, but Tony Ovanen, he's going to be one of our first takers, and he's going to bring Hacken Scott.
Yeah, a couple of guys coming in for the early stops, 85% fuel. So I would imagine it'll probably be between 30 and 35 laps on a tank of gas. So this is right at the beginning of that. Right at the beginning of that window. We'll see what other guys... Oh, and into the wall is the 13, Daniel Solo. He gets off of it. Doesn't seem to have hurt him too bad. Not the way you want to enter the corner here at Auto Club.
No, the wall definitely will hurt a lot more. Such a high speed that they're going. We'll see what top speed is here at the end of the front stretch. About maybe 197, 198 there for Daniel Solo at the end of the front shoot. I mean, you know, if you hit a wall, you kind of want to be right next to the wall, so don't hurt as much.
That's what Richard Petty always said. He'd run up next to the wall because if he, yeah, exactly that. If you hit the wall, it ain't going to hurt as bad. Looks like a lot of these top guys are coming into the pits this time around. All three of the teammates up front. Alexander Erlandson stays out. We'll see if these guys can get down to pit speed. That's 45 miles an hour. Or 55, rather. 55 miles an hour. Alexander Erlandson inherits the race lead. Robert Erling with Kim Nyholm on his inside. Now that's the battle for second place. Erling's going to complete that pass. These guys single file out once again.
So you can at least make it 30 laps easily. 31 laps now for Alexander. He's staying on the track. The group behind him battling for second. They're still on the track. So we're going to see how long some of these drivers can push the fuel limit here.
Keeping an eye towards the back of the pack just to see who peels off towards the back of it. And we're going to see how much this undercut is going to help these guys who have made this pit stop now. Talking about Jonas Gunnarsson, Michael Hafler-Dawson, Daniel Solo.
And Eric Blixt.
Eric Blixt as well. He actually got out in front of these guys in the pit cycle. So a gain spot there. They might have to push a little bit longer on these next couple of stints to be able to make it to the end. So, you know, you come in on lap 30, you go 30, 60, 90. If you had 30 laps in your tank, you could go to 120. So you got to find 5 more laps somewhere. But I don't think those guys are really pushing it on fuel, given the fact that Alexander Erlandson is still out here at lap 33. And look at this gaggle of cars behind him. Daniel Holmer was sliding there. Not Daniel Holmer, rather. That was the 13 of Daniel Solo. Was sliding, trying to chase down these guys and pass them on the inside on these fresher tires. He has a huge task in front of him. Look at this traffic in front of him.
Yeah, and the bad part is for Daniel Solo right there is he's going to burn up some tires trying to get by 5 of them. He's a lap down to the rest of his teammates who were all fortunate enough to make it out in front of the group. You know what, Liam? Lap times comparatively, Eric Blix, the furthest of the ones that short pitted, he's only running 40.7s compared to Robert Earling, who's leading the group at a 41.0. So not a whole big difference for lap time.
Yeah, some of that might be to do with the draft, but that's a really good point to bring up. With only 4 or so tenths lost in that exchange, you could see the 13 of Solo. He's got a clear advantage in the traffic here, but maybe that undercut's not going to be as advantageous as I thought. You see Solo passing a couple more cars there. We'll have to see how it plays out as Alexander Arnoldson still has not pit. 35 laps are going to be complete this time. That 24 machine started on the pole, has fallen back to about 5th place at the worst. Currently leads the race with 35 laps complete. And there's all 3 of those teammates just behind him. Eric Blix, Jonas Gunnarsson. Well, Halflet Dawson, he's not a teammate to these guys. He pitted with them, or a lap after them. Daniel Solo a little bit further behind these guys. Going to work around the lapped car of Andre Solander. Solander, of course, hit the wall hard on the first lap. Didn't bring out a caution as it was on the apron. So tough break for him. He's currently sitting 25th place, last on the field, 4 laps down.
So you got Eric Blix now trying to work his way around, get his lap back. In case there's a yellow, he can get one of his teammates a lap back via the lucky dog. He'll clear Alexander down here in turn 1. Now Jonas sets his sights on getting a lap back.
He's got a nice run coming up off of 2. I don't think he'll waste much time. Meanwhile, Martin Lechesnik, Haflidi Johansson, Robert Eriksson, and Johan Larson have come in to the pits. Seems like the 95 is able to make that pass. Or rather not. He's already made the pass. Now here comes the 33 to come down and make the pass to get his lap back.
You got Eric Blix and Jonas. They both ran a 40.5. Alexander still hitting 40.9s in the draft. Was hitting 41.1s there just a little bit ago. So not too far off of tire fall off here around Auto Club in these next gen cars. And see when Alexander elects to pit. Oh!
That was a moment there for the 81. Michael Halfledasson was trying to get a run coming up off of turn number 4 and almost ran into the back of the 24 of Alexander Arnoldson. He's going to be able to unlap himself now.
I'll move Daniel Solo now up into the lucky dog spot. If there's a caution at any point, he'll be in a good spot. Tony Ovenen, he's trying to run him down.
I tell you what, Corey, we're starting to get to the point on lap number 40. Alexander Arnoldson might be looking at a 2-stopper. Might be trying to take away a pit stop, spend less time in the pits than everybody else, and win the race that way. I didn't know how possible it was going to be before we started this run, but I tell you what, 40 laps on a tank of gas, that's it's a pretty tough ask, but if he's able to get it done, who knows, maybe he can get 41, 42 out of the next ones.
Well, he has to at least get to 42 on 2 of his runs here, because that'll be a 41 lap run at the end if this thing goes green. Right now he's on lap 41, tracking towards that goal of the 42 laps. If it works for him, it's gonna really help in the point situation. The driver that he came in 17 points behind, that's Jesper Eriksson, who is 2 laps down in 24th.
So far, there are only 3 drivers who have not made a pit stop. That's Eraldson, Eric Lundberg, and Peter Helmbro. Eraldson is in the pits. Eric Lundberg is coming around. We'll see if he comes in this time around. Tell you what, 41 laps for Eraldson. That's cutting it pretty close.
Well, he'll take over to 42 there just by virtue of where the start-finish line is comparatively to his pit box. So right now, Peter Helmbro, who started this race back in 20th, he has moved his way up into the lead, and he is trying to extend that fuel mileage.
So far, so good. He's got 10 seconds of a lead over Eric Blixt. Going to be 42 laps complete for him this time around. We'll see just how long that 77 can stay out. And there he comes in. 1 extra lap in comparison to the 24 machine. It's going to bring Eric Blixt out back to the front here with Jonas Gunnarsson second. Michael Haflidassen will take over 3rd place, not too far away. And look at this. Alexander Eraldson hasn't lost, but seems to be half a second to these guys. Wonder if he tried taking 2 tires or something. 7.6 seconds in the pits. He definitely took 2 tires.
It's an interesting call there. I'm not sure if I would have took 2 tires. That's 41 laps on tires. Scary on the left sides. I'm not sure how much more wear on the left sides comparatively to the right sides, but it's working out for him right now. He is able to stay out in 4th, and he's only about 1.7 seconds behind your leader.
Yeah, and remember, he's not exactly racing these guys. He's on a separate strategy, trying to take it long so he can make 1 less pit stop. So you can't afford to get out here and race these guys super hard, use up your stuff, push your fuel numbers harder than you want to. This is where you really got to try to have some self-discipline and just race the racetrack, race your own car. Don't race the cars around you, because, you know, the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a bad spot or compromise your strategy here.
See Daniel Solo, he got by Alexander Eraldson. See what those tires will do differently. He's currently running 41 ones compared to they're still running 45s, 47s up at the front on the 4-tire strategy, but they're going to have to pit an extra time compared to Alexander.
And here's what's interesting. You brought up many times the lap time comparisons before the pit stop was made with Eraldson. He was running in the draft with some of these guys and was only about half a second off. I almost think he was faster on all older tires than he is on 2 tires, as that last time around it was a 41.19 compared to your race leader, as Jonas Gunnarsson has passed his teammate in the 95. Haflidassen going to try to follow him through. Jonas Gunnarsson just put down a 40.58. So that's a considerable amount quicker here after making that pit stop. But like you said, these guys are probably about 15 to 20 laps away from their second pit stop, and they're going to have to make that 1 extra stop.
Even if they were trying to split this race, and never mind, we got a caution. Okay.
The caution has come out for the first time here today. Lafleet Johansson, heavy damage to the front end of that machine. It's already happened there. Try to get an earlier look at it here.
Get you the replay up here, race fans. See what happened to Fleety Johansson.
A little bit further behind it here. Looks like Haflidi's racing with the 16. A little bit of contacts made down the front straightaway. Tries to come up. Oh no, a little bit of contact there with the 57. Oh
Ooh.
man, that's a huge hit to the outside wall.
Loses the bumper, motor's blown. That right front, it's not going the direction it needs to go. The left front, it's wobbling a little bit.
That right front isn't going at all. You can hear him on the gas, see that rear tire spinning. Everybody, however, has come in to make a pit stop. Everybody except for Eric Lundberg.
So Lundberg, who did come in on lap 41, staying out, trying to play the game of, hey, I still have semi-fresh tires, only 7-lap difference. A little less than that because you had a couple laps there under yellow to slow it down.
Well, yeah, and if this thing does end up trending a bit more yellow, and fresh tires become more important as these pit stops happen more often, who knows, saving that extra set might help him out down the stretch. See, some of these guys who have come in to made 2 pit stops have used 2 of their 5 sets of tires here. Now, Corey, you might be able to double check for me if that was 5 in total or 5 in the pits, but...
Well, it says tire limit 5.
I believe that means that's 4 in the pits. So some of these guys might have already put their second set of tires on. Could definitely throw a wrench in your late race plans if you end up running out of tires earlier than you want to. Lights are off on the pace truck, though. Eric Lundberg. On the inside, Hakan Shot outside. Jonas Skoglund, Jonas Gunnarsson, and Daniel Homer round out your top 5. Eric Blix, Alexander Eriksson, or Eraldson, Martin Lejesnik, Michael Haflidassen, and Daniel Solo rounding out the top 10. Robert Ehrling is still in the pits. He's just getting out now. Maybe he's came in to top off or double check on a potential problem. Top 2 are non-playoff drivers.
Well, right now you got Eric, who came back on lap 41, and Hawkins Scott came back in 28. He needs a couple more cautions here to level out the playing field. Because even if he can go 42 on a tank of fuel, he's going to have to come in 2 more times. Wait, hold on. My math might be off. Hold on. Oh, no, it is. It's correct. My math is correct.
See if any of this caution helps out. But these guys taking that green flag strategy, throwing it out the window as we've got 75 laps to go when we take the green flag here. His truck has made that hard left turn. The field is in the hands of Eric Lundberg, and he is on the throttle hard and away already, about 2 car lengths of a gap. This guy's starting to fan out a bit. down the front straightaway, but just wait until they do it down into turn 1.
Yeah, those older tires of Hack and Scott had to have hurt him there a little bit as it didn't allow the outside lane to go. Now you got Jonas and his teammate there behind him. That's Eric Blix trying to weave their own way through. Jonas Scuggling right there in second. A little wall contact, no harm, no foul, but you go further back here. They are almost for
they're
wide.
trying.
Oh, my.
They had the space for it. They just weren't quite on each other like that. But I tell you what, they were trying to take everything they could. And now we've got 3 wide in just as many lanes. Now you see that 81 and the 24 running side by side. Almost a little bit of contact. Here comes the 81 coming up in front of the 84. Nowhere for that 16 machine to go on the bottom. And now here comes Tony Obenin looking to potentially try to take advantage of that. 58 of Kim Nyholm as well. Working down to the bottom. The 24 of Eraldson got a little bit loose there, trying to pass Daniel Solo. Almost 3 wide once again. Aplodasset slides up in front of Eraldson. Eraldson has to go back behind the 13 of Solo. A little bit of wall contact in the back. I believe that was Johan Larson.
No harm, no foul out of that driver at the back, getting up into the wall. The battle is on right there, and for the 7th spot, that's Daniel Solo, Alexander Eraldson. Eric Lundberg up at the front. He's pulled away. Jonas Scuggling, he's got about 6/10 of a second over him.
Eraldson smoking the tires down there on the bottom. Was trying to get a 2-for-1 there. Used the 101 as a pick. Got a bit loose there down on the bottom, though. Lost that momentum, and now here comes Daniel Solo trying to get back around Hakan Shot. To the inside now, coming out of turn 4. Gets a nice run. 3 wide, a little bit behind him. Tony O in the middle. Eraldson still trying to recover from that slide a lap ago. He's now up on the top with the 112 of Oscar Fredrickson down on the inside. Ripping the fence is that 24 of Eraldson as he sits in 10th place after leading a good portion of the first half of this race.
So if these drivers all plan on making it a one-stop race, their next stop has to come somewhere after lap 82 at the very minimum. So we're still a good ways away from there. You got to keep in mind that Haskins Scott there, he has to come in somewhere before 70 or on 70.
Well, we were able to see the 40 car make it 40 or the 24 car make it 40 laps on a tank of fuel. We have had a couple of caution laps in there, so he might be able to get past that lap 80 mark. And if he can do that, Eric Lundberg, of course, I'd say he's at least in contention. But he's got to get to that 82. I would even say 83 laps complete. He wants to make it to the end on this tank of fuel. It's going to be a tough ask, but we've got a long way to go to figure this stuff out. 68 laps to go across the line.
It's still a long race to figure out what kind of strategy you need to play. And of course, we could always see that dreaded yellow throw a wrench into some of their strategies, and you see them up at the front here. You got the teammates once again, they're all over Jonas Scuggling right now. That's battle for second. Almost 3 wide.
Yeah, these guys are dicing everywhere. 13, Daniel Solo is trying to get around the 83 of Jonas Skoglund to try to take away 4th place. Jonas doesn't want to give up, though. He's up 15 spots. He wants to make it 18. Get up to that front spot, take away the lead from Eric Lundberg. Lundberg is driven away on those slightly older tires. And he's continuing to put down quicker lap times than these guys behind him. A 40.39 for Lundberg that last time around compared to a 40.56 for Gunnarsson.
Clean air playing dividends for Eric Lundberg. And, you know, with Lundberg coming in back on 41 with a couple of pace laps, don't count in the pace laps there. He's still got a, he is right smack on the window to make it on one stop. He's got to make it to at least 83, 84 to do this race on one stop.
Yeah, he's definitely got a fuel number in mind. Look at Eraldson getting out. We were just talking about him in 10th place. He is trying to make a slider. Super loose once again, coming up off of 2. He's going to lose a bit of momentum to the 81, Hoplet Austin, who gets to his outside. Drops him down to 6th place, but Eraldson is not going to go away without a fight. He's going to try to pull the slider here on the 79, Daniel Homer, to keep him behind. They're 3 wide, though. Just behind for 7th place, the 83 of Jonas Skoglund, who we just saw up in 4th place. Now falls back to 9th, and that's just how quickly things can happen here at Auto Club. If you get yourself in a spot you don't want to be in. You can run almost anywhere, but if you miss your line or you get caught up in a weird toe or something upsets the car, that can really slow you down.
Yeah, absolutely. And here it is just one big clump of cars. You got them all the way back to the 11th. Not as strung out as it was on the first run, but we did have that wall hit that may have played factor into stringing out the field. Didn't have that this time on this run. They're just going at it.
Yeah, they are, and Eric Lundberg is loving to see all that in his mirror. Now they start to single file out and train again, but every time they hit these corners, they fan out once again. 3 wide now for 4th place.
Oh,
the wall with
Solo.
Everybody now scrambling, trying to find somewhere to go. Solo didn't lose that much speed, but it was just enough to allow the 95 to get clear in front of him in the 24. Try to make a move down on the bottom. Here comes that 24 machine once again. He's going to try to clear the 95. Is going to have enough? Not quite. There wasn't enough space between those cars anyways. Look at the side draft starting to get a little bit more aggressive as we're passing halfway.
Man, I don't know if you've seen it, but
24 there. Looked like he was trying to give a little bit of a bump to that 95.
it looked like he was trying to squeeze him up into the wall, maybe cause him to lose some momentum there. I'm not sure if Alexander is too happy with these 3 teammates. They've been blocking in the first green flag run. Now you see Alexander. He's going to go for it deep down in front of Jonas. Not quite going to get clear. He's going to have to try it once again down in turn number 3, but he is absolutely pinching him up.
Oh, and a little bit of contact with Blix. Here comes Alexander. He's going to try to slide up, but that top side coming up off of turn 4, just a little bit stronger. Those 3 teammates up top drafting once again, and that is detriment to the 24 machine of Alexander Eraldson. He's going to try that bottom side once again. He's been super strong on entry, but just hasn't quite been able to get clear of one or any of these guys, or able to find a hole to get up and utilize that draft. He's stuck with the side draft down the back straightaway, which helps a little bit, but when those 3 guys are lined up and drafting away from you, there's only so much you can do.
Well, he's got help now. That's a teammate behind him, Oscar Fredericksson. Not to mention, not too far back there, I know he's lapped down by Jesper Eriksson.
Yeah, he's right up in the thick of things here in that 37. There's another guy hoping on another caution here, but we've got 60 laps to go, and these guys are starting to chase down your leader, Eric Lundberg, now. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Eraldson sent down to the inside. Looked like the 13 of Solo was who the contact was made with. And now they're 3 wide racing outside of the top 5. Afladassen trying to take advantage in the middle. Here's the 112 up top with Oscar Fredrickson. 3 wide, super close quarters, inches separating these guys at 190 miles an hour down the front stretch.
Good battle here up at the front for your top 2 spot. Top 3 area.
Little more help on the bottom side than there was before. Not anymore. Solo tries to the top side of his teammate.
Well, this is the fun part right here. You got teammates there in the 24, 112, 37. Teammates of 33, 95, 13. And then the lone wolf in the 81. And here comes Daniel Homer trying to put it on the outside of them all.
All of these guys just see this giant gaggle of traffic and they say, man, if I could just get around him, I could have something for the leader. But that's just the thing. Daniel Homer, he sits less than 2 seconds off of the race lead. He's in 9th place. He's got a lot of cars to try to overcome as these guys continue to chase down Eric Lundberg. About half a tenth to a tenth a lap. We'll see what it is this time around. And I'm sure it's going to be a huge chunk of that gap this time around. Yeah, now these guys have his draft. They're putting down 40.58 compared to a 40.99 for Lundberg. And it's kind of looking like he's going to be a sitting duck now.
Those 7-lap holder tires making a difference right now. Jonas Gunnarsson, he is closing out gap. He's closing in about a quarter of a second within a corner in a straightaway.
Back straightaway. Hard into the wall was the 57 Johan Larsson. I believe Bjorn Brostrom might have had a little bit of contact in that as well. No caution's going to come out as of yet. He stays on the inside, takes the tow, and that's going to put him into the pits. We stay under green flag. We'll get a quick look at that in just a few minutes as this race for the lead is heating up once again. These guys are within a couple of car lengths of the race leader. There is nothing he can do to defend it. He doesn't even try to come up top to block that run.
No, he did not. He elected not to go for the block. He understands the mission here. He has to get to at least lap 83 in order to make this into a one-stop race. But right now, he is getting absolutely freight trained. The 3 teammates are now 1, 2, 3 once again. They bring along Michael Heflidesen.
Lundberg's got to try to find himself a spot in this draft so he can save a little bit more fuel and try to stay with these guys, not let them get too far away so he'll still have a shot. But I tell you what, falling back to the B main, going out there, winning that thing, being as up high as the race lead. He's still up 14 spots from where he started this event. That's a really good day for a race car driver, I'd say. I'm somebody who likes to pass cars just as much as I like winning. So, well, you know, he might not be able to get the job done. It's got to feel pretty good knowing he came through. The whole field is into the wall. Goes the race leader, the 33 Gunnarsson. That stacks up the entire outside. And guess who's on the bottom side? That's a little bit of contact. Eraldson and Afladassen get together down the backstretch, and that was almost disastrous. That almost pointed the 24 towards the outside wall. These guys get through it, and they're still 3 wide, battling for 3rd place now. A couple more teammates behind. You see those guys pushing big. Oh, and a spin! Dawson gets turned around down the front straightaway. That's going to bring out the caution, and he's going to hit the outside wall. Looks like a couple cars are going to get turned around as well. Well, maybe just the one. Caution out for the second time today. Some rear end damage to the 81 car for sure. Oh, he did hit somebody. Not quite sure who that was. We'll get a different angle of it.
Might have been Peter Helmbro, maybe.
So I think the 24 was trying to push the 81. Didn't get lined up. Got into him. Got him squirrely. You see the 13 get a piece as well. Almost goes around. And yep, here we come up the track. You were correct. It was the 77, Peter Helmbro. Wall keeps him straight, but that cannot be good on the left side of that machine. We have a moment. We'll go and take a look at Johan Larsson's crash as well. Huge hit to the inside wall. Wonder if he was just trying to get into the hole. Wasn't quite clear, and you know, they started hooking together. Tough break for a couple of these guys, but everybody's pitting.
Yeah, everybody's coming in here. The thing is, though, they don't have enough, unless they can run 50-some laps, they won't have enough fuel.
I don't think they can make it from here. You're going to have to make one more stop. The question is it fuel only, 2 tires, or 4 if it's made under green? Or do we get another caution?
Well, right now, lap 75, if we're just going out on a limb and saying they can only go 42 laps, that would put them up to 117 of 125, so unless they can go unless somebody can stretch this thing 50 laps, everybody now has to come in at least one more time. Question is, when do you do it, and how do you do it? Do you take tires? Do you not take tires? Do you take right sides only? That's gonna be the strategy, and of course, you know, Liam, we could always see the dreaded yellow that nobody wants to see. The drivers don't want to see it. The race fans don't want to see the yellow. Well, maybe a couple of the drivers want to see the yellow. I know we don't want to see the yellow.
Yeah, and you've also got to worry about if there's cautions. When does that caution come out? Could it be late enough to add some extra time to this race? Get these fans a little bit more bang for their buck as the lights are out on that iRacing pace truck. I believe it's a Chevy Silverado, Dodge Ford Ram. I don't know what it is. Gunnarson's going to lead him down in the 33. Then Daniel Solo, Eric Blixt, Alexander Aronson, Tony Ovanen, Oscar Fredrickson, Kim Nyholm, Eric Lundberg, Daniel Homer, and Jonas Force round out the top 10.
You were questioning the pace truck. I do believe that is a Chevy Silverado.
It's got the Chevy front end for sure, but I know iRacing doesn't like to say what the cars are except for the Porsche. Well, maybe the Mustang too. But
Okay, yeah.
I
Well,
don't
you
know.
just wow, you just contradicted yourself, Liam. You just said they don't like to say the manufacturer of the pace vehicle, but you just said Porsche Mustang. So,
Yeah, I guess I'm good at that, huh?
uh, I do believe it is a Chevy as we are fixing to go back green. Jonas Gunnarsson on the point. Daniel Solo right there, and Jonas, good launch in the restart zone, gets out there in front. Eric Blix now door to door. Teammate Daniel Solo. That's going to leave Alexander Eraldson right behind him.
It definitely is, and now you see Aronson getting down to the bottom side, gonna hold that bottom, trying to, and sideways once again. Sideways is the 18. Eric Lundberg, we'll see if he was able to save it. No, he hit the inside wall pretty good. See that right or left front fender flopping around a bit there above the wheel. Tough break there, not the way you want to restart, but these guys still absolutely dicing it up here up front. Racing up at the top 5, Oscar Fredrickson up here. Tell you what, he's going to have a teammate in Jesper Eriksson, and not too long. Jesper's working his way up through this field. You saw how good he was running when he was a lap down. Now he's up here racing for position.
Who?
Not sure why it says Gunnarsson's in the pits. He's not. He's leading the race. Over 2 teammates, Eric Blix and Daniel Solo. Then we've got a side-by-side battle for third. So Alexander Eraldson is going to try to get to the inside of Tony O with a push from the 112 machine.
It's a good little battle up here at the front. Still Alexander has a good shot at it. He has been fighting hard all race with those 3 teammates here, and here comes Tony Ovenen, and he's going to bring along Jonas Fors. I have a feeling Jonas Fors may be an owner of that Fors Esports that's being driven by Alexander and Oscar. I'm not quite sure 100% on who's all who teammates with each one, but I have a feeling they're teammates. They're all on the same voice channel down there, so.
Yeah, they, for the most part, got the same back-end sponsor as well, so I'd say that's a safe assumption here, as you see that 13 get a little bit sideways there coming out of turn 2. Stuck in the middle right now, not really where you want to be. Making it work. You see the 58, Kim Nyholm goes up to the top side of the track, and sideways is Tony Ovenen coming out of turn 4 there. Solo and Fors both having to take a bit of evasive action. Is that going to separate these teammates up front? These guys are trying to do the old DEI strategy of just get out front, stay out front. We're going to win this race together. There's 22 other guys out on the racetrack trying to play spoiler for him. As now 78 gets clear, is up into 3rd place. Tony O going to try to follow to get past Daniel Solo. He's got a good run getting down into 3. Doesn't quite have the line he wants. Slides up the track. Is he going to get into Solo? A little bit of contact. Solo hard into the wall.
Oh my, and good avoidance by everybody there. Nobody gets into the back of Solo, but Solo with the meatball flag. He is in trouble here. No quick fix in this league. He's gonna have to try to get out of harm's way here. He's gonna.
That thing is not handling well. He is super sideways coming out of 2. Is he gonna be able to keep that thing straight? Hey, he's just locking up the brakes now, slowing it way down, trying not to cause a crash in front of these guys as they get around him. Very tough break for Daniel Solo, who's running up front for a good portion of this race. Jonas Gunnarsson and Eric Blix. Jonas Fors right behind him. Kim Nyholm able to take advantage of that calamity, gets up into 4th place. 5th is Tony Ovenen, and Alexander Eraldson sits in 6th, and up into the wall is Fors. He's stuck on it. It's going to cost him a couple of spots.
It does that indeed. Fors drops back. He's now in 5th, right in front of Michael Philipson, Alexander Eraldson.
Coming up 40 laps to go. A little bit of contact now between Haflidassen and Fors. Doesn't seem like that left rear damage is doing too much to hurt the 81 car. So he's trying to work his way back up into the top 5, but that top lane has all of the help and all of the draft, all of the speed. Pete Fors up in that top 5 for now.
Here comes Tony Ovenen on the inside of Kim Nolm, taking away that spot. That's for 3rd. But your 2 teammates, that's Eric Blix, Jonas Gunnarsson. They are working together superiorly here. Down the back chute and then through the corners.
It doesn't really seem like either one of these guys wants to separate from the bumper of the other. 3 wide, though, back for 5th place. Haflidassen, Eraldson's in the middle. Eraldson gets back down. These guys made contact a little bit earlier, talking about the 81 and 24. Slides up the track there. Might have been a little bit of contact coming up off of 2, but if there wasn't, it was close.
No, there wasn't much contact. There was maybe a paper thin scratch, but look at who's coming into the picture here. We haven't seen him all night long. That's Robert B. Erickson. If I'm correct, he was one of our cars involved on that lap 1 incident earlier on tonight.
81 and 24 getting awfully close once again. I think he might be trying to send a message there. Wasn't happy about getting turned on a straightaway. Well, I don't think there was anything intentional about that on the straightaway. I could definitely see where it's frustrating to get turned around when you're going straight. It's a tough feeling in the race car. It's confusing. It's unexpected, but it can definitely happen, especially at these super fast tracks where pushing and drafting is so important. Haflidassen trying to work around the 112. It looks like he's going to be able to almost get in front of him, but the 58 in front of him kind of checks up a bit. Now Eraldson down at the bottom as well.
While this battle is going on, you know, we've reached past where fuel mileage is in play here. They are within the window. If they come down anytime between now and at least 116 is maybe the max that you can all go. But the way they're driving, we might see a caution here soon.
Might see it at just a lap or 2 here as Fors tried to get up and clear himself in front of the 81. It wasn't quite clear, had to let up off of the gas, lose a little momentum. But yeah, like you said, the window is open, but when do you want to come into pit? And that's going to be a tough ask for these guys, especially these guys sitting up in the front draft. You don't really want to lose that draft. We saw how much speed you're able to gain when you've got somebody in front of you. Don't want to lose these guys, even if you have those fresh tires.
Well, I'd almost imagine your 2 teammates of Jonas and Eric, they're going to come in together. I mean, right now, you only have 26 laps until the maybe maximum fuel mileage you can go. Yeah, start wondering, like, when do you go? If you go early, you get a caution. Well, then you're stuck a lap down. You're going to be at the back of the field, which still has 20 cars on the lead lap. That's a lot of passing that you would have to do in order to make it back up to the lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That would be disastrous if you got caught down a lap. That's starting to get into the time where there's not enough time to overcome something like that. Now we see some more 3 wide action down the back straightaway. Haflidassen, 112 of Fredrickson. Eraldson just in front of these guys. Haflidassen has not been able to get away from Fredrickson basically this whole stint. He's gotten up into the top 7. But that 112 has proved to be his kryptonite so far. 4 is up into the wall. Able to get off it. Look at how close these guys are. Now sitting 3 wide coming up off of turn 2. And I'm not sure the 81 knew he was 3. This guy's racing awfully close down the backstretch. We'll see how hard the 81 sends it down in there. 35 going to try to take advantage of both of these guys. That's Robert Erickson. He said made a little bit of contact with Linus on the first lap. That first lap incident. He's made a nice recovery, getting up into the top 10.
Good little battle of air. Alexander up in the wall, and same with Jonas. Jonas gonna get the worst end of the deal there. This could not get off the wall. He'll fall in behind the line of Daniel Homer. That's back in 10th.
And Kenneth Tier trying to find a way around these guys just behind him as well. Jonas Skoglund sits just behind these guys in 12th place. Then we've got about a second back to Peter Helmbro, who we saw get a little bit of damage in that previous caution. Jesper Eriksson has come back to the pits. Might have been some more connection issues on his end.
No, I don't know. That could be scheduled stop.
Could be the strategy call.
26-second stop. That's kind of long if it was intended to be a scheduled stop. Even if you took max fuel and all 4 tires, you'd be looking at a 15 second stop. 26 seconds. That's 12-11 over normal. So maybe not a scheduled stop for Jesper, but up front they are just going at it. Eric Blix, Jonas Gunnarsson teammates, Tony Ovenen trying to spoil the party. Michael Fleetison back up to 4th now. Kim Nyholm on the outside of him.
Alfred Austin's really been able to work that inside a lot better than most people have. As you see him get around the 58, gets clear of him. Put the 81 up into 4th place now.
So laps are winding down here on the fuel window. The most I'm guessing they can get to is 116. That is 20 laps from now. But you don't want to pit too late. You pit too late, you don't have enough time to make it up through the field again. You pit too early, you get an unlucky yellow. Getting your lap down, you got to take a wave around. I mean, you'd be on the lead lap, but you'd be at the back. So, oh boy, differing strategies here.
Well, we've got 30 laps to find out. We're going to go ahead and step side by side for just a few minutes as you see Alexander making a huge move there in the 24. We'll step away and we'll be right back for the finish here at Auto Club. Flag here, going to be 100 laps complete, and here comes pit stops. Jonas Gunnarsson going to lead them down. Michael Hafledasson and Eric Blixt coming in as the first of the comers this time around. Tony Ovinen and Alexander Eraldson able to take away the race lead, drafting up on the top side, separating those teammates, and now they've got a little bit of a separation between them and Oscar Fredrickson, who sits in third place. Kim Nyholm, Daniel Homer round out the top 5 now. Jonas Fors, Jonas Skoglund, Kenneth Tier, Peter Helmbro, and Hakan Schott round out your top 10 as of right now.
So it looks like Eric going to take 4 tires. Jonas on the 4 tires. Fleetason all 4 tires for the first 3 to come down pit road. Gonna have 25 to go here. That will put them a lap down.
Yeah, if you're these guys coming out of the pit lane right now, the last thing you want to see is a yellow flag. It'll either catch you a lap down, and you'll have to take a waiver on when these guys pit, or they could stay out, which I don't know why they would. They could stay out to pin you a lap down. Wouldn't really have much for a benefit, but here comes the top 2 into the pits. Tony O, Alexander Eraldson, they don't want to waste any time, and it looks like the 24 tried to overtake on entry to pit lane, but wasn't quite able to.
Oh, guess what? Both of them dinged.
No.
Speeding.
Tony and Alexander both too fast entering. That's going to take them out of contention to win this race unless we get a caution flag to get them back on the lead lap. But even then, it might be a bit late.
So that's one of the things here late in the going. You do not want to make a mental mistake on your pit entry, exit, or down pit road. And that is one of them, speeding, and both of them at the same exact time. Ouch.
Yeah, just try to get everything that they could on pit lane entry. And if you're going to make a mistake, you want to make it early, but this was probably the toughest time for these guys to have that problem, as now you see the 33 and 81 working their way up through some of these lap down, or some of these lead lap cars, those guys sitting a lap down after their pit stop. First one to get off of the pits was the 33 of Jonas Gunnarsson. Michael Hafledasson just behind these guys. Eric Blixt a couple of car lengths behind those lead lap cars. Your race leader, actually, Jonas Skoglund. Got Kenneth Tier and Peter Helmbro right behind him. 20 laps to go. Next time by.
Going to be an interesting strategy here for Jonas Skoglund. He's got about maybe 10 or so laps on a tank of fuel. Unless he's been somehow saving it out there.
Well, he has been working in the pack, so the draft could help, but I think that's just too much to be able to save. I know I couldn't do it. These guys are much better drivers than I am. 20 laps to go in the Team Lockarp 400 at Auto Club.
You see right there in front of them, Tony Ovinen and Alexander Eraldson. They're in danger of dropping 2 laps down to the field. If they do end up 2 laps down, the wave around wouldn't make a huge difference to them anyways. That is if Jonas can make his way up around him, which is a tall order there.
And Jonas on the older tires, it's going to be a tough ask, but yes, going 2 laps down is not what these guys want. So they might be in tough shape. Just being the 1 lap down there. I mean, this is effectively who they were racing for the lead. Now there's a lap of separation between the two, or between the 2 pairs.
Oh, Tony Ovinen with a little shunt to Alexander there. Maybe a little revenge shot for forcing him into speeding down pit road entry. Oh, and Alexander.
Oh, there's contact. 84 or the 81 and 24 make a little bit of contact down the front straightaway. I'm not sure if maybe the 81 got pushed up into the wall and that checked everybody up. But that's the second time we've seen the 24 and 81 make contact, almost the same spot on the racetrack.
Fleetison diving it deep down turn number 3. Here comes Oven, and he's going to try to get around Fleetison. This ain't even a battle for position. This is mainly by theory.
Oh, and there's contact between the 24 and 84. Ovenen into the grass, keeps it straight up. Oh no, and up in front of the 77. Huge contact, and the caution comes out.
Race leader involved, heavy damage on that 77 car. He is all but done. Oh boy.
Man, that was a tough spot. We'll take a look. We'll slow it down here. These guys, 24 and 84, they're racing for position, but the 24 tries to follow Fleetison down the track. Makes contact with the 84, sends him down into the grass on the front straightaway, and so far, an incredible job of car control by the 84 of Tony O, keeping it straight, trying not to come back up onto the racetrack. But unfortunately, for both him and the 77, just can't quite keep it down. And huge hit there for Peter. And for Tony.
Absolutely hard licks out of both of those cars. So this is going to bring us in. Jonas from the lead, he's going to have to make a pit stop here.
He is going to have a little bit fresher tires than most everybody else, though.
Jonas and Fleetison, Blix, and even Homer, they're all going to assumably stay out here and inherit the lead. They still got to cut around.
To assume, but yeah, these guys don't look to be pitting this time around. Jonas Skoglund, Kenneth Tier, Linus Brostrom, Hamli Fagrel, and Bjorn Brostrom come into the pits. Actually, a really good strategy call for that 71 who we saw get up into the wall, have to come in, make a pit stop early on after that first lap contact. Now he's going to come in with fresher tires, about 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else. And with only 15 laps to go, you know these guys aren't going to be saving much of anything.
No, they are not. They're going to go all out on each other here. I'd imagine with only 6 of them there. All staying out. Going to be a tall order for Jonas to get on by. They're all about 10 lap newer tires, your top 3. Homer back on 101, so 9 laps there. Martin and Hacken Scott, don't count those two guys out. Martin up 19 spots. Even Daniel Homer up 18 spots on the night.
Yeah, there's definitely been a good amount of attrition here. When I say good, I don't mean a positive amount, I just mean a hefty amount. Robert Erickson, Andre Solander, we saw hit the wall on the first lap. Daniel Solo with some heavy wall contact. He's recovered. Tony O, obviously. Peter Helmbro involved in that last crash. Eric Lundberg out of the race after getting loose out of turn 2. Tearing up the left front of that. Johan Larson and Haflidi Johansson also out of the event. Alexander Eraldson sits 1 lap down. Jesper Eriksson back in the lead lap, I believe. Yeah,
Jesper gonna take the wave around here. under this yellow, going to get back on the lead lap. Now, something upsetting for Alexander. He is being trapped a lap down. Unfortunately, was not in front of Jonas or Michael Fleetedson when the caution came out, so he's going to stay one lap down.
14 laps to go. That's going to be a really tough one to overcome. Going to be 13 at the line. Do we see another caution? We've only had 3 in 110 laps so far. These guys have been exceptionally clean and exceptionally dicey. This has been an absolutely phenomenal race for us today. It's been a pleasure to be able to call it. If you guys are new here, go ahead, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing 7 nights a week. We're happy to have you with us. Base truck makes that hard left turn once again. You see how those cars stacked up on the inside, lap down cars staying down there. Green flag back out in the air for Jonas Gunnarsson. Michael Haflidassen sits in second, gets a strong restart. Eric Blixt up in third though. Daniel Homer as well. These guys start to fan out once again.
Driver to look out for here is Jonas Scuglin. He's on those newer tires, see if he can move up.
He's already trying to take advantage of him, working the bottom side. He still sits in 7th where he restarted, but he's got a good run down to the inside of that 0.16 of Lejesnik. Lejesnik slides up the racetrack. He's going to get up next to the wall. Almost gets up into it, keeps it out of the fence, though. Got to wonder if this is already taking longer than Jonas expected or wanted. His bed was made when that caution came out, and I don't think it was a bad bet to be in, but he's going to have a tough task if he wants to get around these 6 drivers in front of him, especially as Jonas, Michael, and Eric are nose to tail drafting away from Daniel Homer in 4th.
So tall order here for Jonas, maybe make up the spots, but Daniel Homer, one of the ones that came in on 108, he's got those tires a little bit newer than the other 3 in front of him by 1 lap.
Yeah, he's sticking with these guys, trying to utilize that draft. I don't know if he's trying to wait for them or hope for them to use up a bit more stuff so he can come in and take it all at the end, but we know this is a very abrasive track surface, but 13 laps, now 11 to go. It'll be 10 at the line. That's not a lot of time to try to put some wear on these tires, but we'll see.
Clocking off at 40 seconds a lap, not a whole lot.
Jonas Gunnarsson's last lap was 3/100ths of a second off of his fastest lap of the race. These guys still putting down absolutely blazing lap times. Haflidassen trying to pull off a spin and win and lock his way up into the playoffs for the next round. Actually, 4 out of the top 5, the entire top 4 is trying to advance into the next round here.
Highest running car in the playoffs is Jonas Gunnarsson. He's in the lead. He came into this race 6 points behind fellow teammate of Daniel Sulla, who we've seen crash out a little bit ago, and he is 1 lap down back in 18th. Michael Fleetedson trying to secure some points. Eric Blixt came in 7 behind. Homer came in 14 behind. So all 4 of these in a good spot to gain some points.
Yeah, it's definitely a good spot to gain some points is to see Blixt working the top side. Here comes Fleetedson down to the bottom. Both drivers getting a better run than the 33, but those 2 teammates up top drafting. A little bit of wall contact causes the 95 to come down, might have touched the 81. Now here comes Homer down to the inside. Trying to take away third place. He's got a strong machine down on the bottom. A Bright Esports, bright yellow. He's got the bright blue Bright Esports car right behind him. So once again, we find ourselves in the familiar position, Corey, of a pair of teammates, another pair of teammates, and then a lone wolf. That lone wolf being the 81, Michael Hafladassen.
Absolutely, and the two teammates that have been out front all race long, they are still working tremendously together. Daniel Homer there stuck behind Michael Hafladassen, who's been up at the front, went for a little spin earlier. Just trying to make a comeback here, see if he can't steal away a win. Lap 120 right now at the line.
6 more to go. That's 12 miles for these guys to try to figure out who's going to win here at Auto Club. The team Lockarp Racing 400 winding down here, and that 95, huge run down the backstretch off of turn 2, decides to stay with his teammate. He might be waiting for the last moment if he's not going to try to push him to the win. I don't know why he would.
I mean, yeah, you definitely want to go for
sure.
the win.
See what kind of run these guys get. Bumper to bumper for in second and third. Blixt trying to work the back bumper of that 33. There's 5 laps to go, and now we've got a bunch of them. Look at these guys on fresh tires. Linus Brostrom, Hakan Schott, Jonas Skoglund. These guys all on fresher tires, and 5 laps to go. They're making their presence known.
Look at who's in the picture. We haven't seen him all night long. That's Linus Brostrom there in 7th. Kenneth Tier, he's now up to 8th.
Yeah, some of these guys who came in for those fresher tires now finding themselves in this lead pack.
Look at this, 3 wide once again for second place. Daniel Homer on the inside of Hafladassen. A little door-to-door contact between those two drivers. They single file back out right behind Eric Blix. Here comes Linus now over Hakan Scott. We're going to see lap 123 when they get to the line. Not a whole lot of time for these drivers to figure something out.
I tell you what, Linus with a good run. A lot of guys coming up into the wall, coming up off of 4. Linus going to take advantage of the 81 and that 79 machine. Not quite close enough to get to the 81. Gunnarsson and Blixt still lead this race. Hafladassen trying to hold on to third now. He's kind of blocked down in front of Linus. Linus moves up into 4th place, just behind, or just in front of the 79. All over the back bumper of Linus is Daniel Homer. See what kind of run these guys can work together into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Linus up on the top side. He's gotten to the fender of Hafladassen. Is he going to be able to stick with it up off of the corner? He's got the run. Draft goes down to the bottom. 2 laps to go. Jonas Gunnarsson leads.
So Linus trying to get this thing done here. He's got a little bit newer tires than these 3 cars out in front of him. It's the dirty air that is affecting him hard. We got about a lap and a half here so they get to this light down the back stretch.
He's in 3rd. He's clear
Linus up
of
at
4th
3rd.
place. Now he moves up to the top of Blixt. Same move he pulled on Hafladassen this last time around. Hafladassen moves up to the top. He's going to go with him. He tries to. Maybe didn't try to, but we've got 1 lap to go here at the line. It's the final lap for Jonas Gunnarsson. Eric Blixt right behind him. Does he push his teammate or try to go for a win? Does Linus have the tires to get it done from 3rd? Here comes Hafladassen. Here comes Homer down on the bottom. 4 wide for 2nd place momentarily.
Gonna have half of a lap here to try to get it done. What does Linus do? He's got a little bit of a gap to make up over Eric and Jonas out front. Does Eric try to steal the win away, or does he block for his teammate Jonas here?
I don't know if he's going to have enough of a run. Here comes Jonas Gunnarsson. He's going to take the win here at Auto Club. Eric Blixton second, and Linus Brostrom takes away third place. Michael Hafledasson in fourth. Daniel Homer rounds out the top 5. And what a thriller that was. I was like biting my nails that last lap. Go ahead and show you your race results. That's not the right one. Go ahead and show you your race results. So we're still waiting on them to become totally official. Jonas Gunnarsson burning it down. So is Michael. Eric's out here burning it down as well. Martin is as well. These guys just having fun, putting on a smoke show for the fans here at the Oval. While they do that, we'll go ahead and bring that finishing order back up for you. Got Jonas Gunnarsson, Eric Blix, and Linus Brostrom rounding out the podium. Then Michael Hafledasson, Daniel Homer, Hakan Schott, Jonas Skoglund, Kenneth Tier, Martin Lechesnik, and Jonas Force rounding out the top 10. After that, we've got Kim Nyholm, Jesper Eriksson, Ellie Fagerl, Oscar Fredrickson, Robert Erling, Bjorn Brostrom, Alexander Arledson, Robert Eriksson, Daniel Solo, and Andre Salander, Tony Ovanen, Peter Helmbro, Eric Lundberg, Johan Larsen, and Haflidi Johansson rounding out the field. 33 gets it done here today, and we're going to go ahead and talk with the winner.
Yeah.
Hey there, Jonas. You got a copy on me?
Yeah.
Well, man, you started this race in second. You were able to stay up there all throughout the 125 lap event. Brought her home in victory lane. Talk us through that race.
Yeah. I thought that we made a mistake there, pitting on the green, lap 100, and when the yellow came out, people could get on fresh tires. We didn't have any tires left, but it worked out in the end. Just try to cover the outside. It's really hard to pass here, and it was a team effort, really. Everybody had to shine.
Absolutely, it was a team effort up there. You had your teammate behind you. You both did an amazing job. And you got anybody like to thank tonight for your outstanding win?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome stuff, Jonas. We appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the race win. Go and celebrate with the team.
Yeah, I wanna thank the whole team, Altintech, NHR, Neyman Racing, and the whole league, of course. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, there you have it, folks. Your race winner, Jonas Gunnarsson.
All right, second place, we've got Eric Blix. And Eric, come home with a strong second place finish. You passed 10 cars to get it done, and your teammate Jonas, he said it was a team effort for him to get the win. Was there any chance of you trying to pass him, or were you with him until the end?
I was tempted, at least on the last run. I had a good run on the straight, but I didn't want to invite Linus to get a run on the out of the last turn, so I just decided to slot in, keep the 1-2 streak, the curse, as you may say, between me and Jonas. So yeah, it was mostly just trying to get a good result for the whole team.
You guys worked together very well all the race. Daniel Solo as well until he got up into the wall. What kind of preparation went into this race?
The other guys did the practice. I arrived today. But I mean, I got a lot of like previous experiences on this track, at least in the B car. It does help. It's not the same, but it does help just with the lane choices and just trying to keep momentum up is the most important part.
You guys definitely did a great job of that. Is there anybody that you want to thank for such a strong run today?
It's just a whole team, and yes, some people at least driving the practice sessions, getting some important intel for us, so like make a good run and work out a decent strategy. And it worked out pretty good. Linus was a strong contender there in the end on the new tires, but we held on to the end, so it worked out.
A great job by you guys to take away a 1-2 finish. Congratulations on the podium, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Thanks.
All right, now we've got Mr. Brostrom himself, third place. Is it Linus or Linus? I've been calling you Linus because James did a couple weeks ago.
I think that's more right than the other one, but you know, I'm used to either, so
Okay.
doesn't really matter.
Well, you came away with a third place. You got that late caution to allow you to get fresh tires. Do you think you could have had anything for the teammates up front?
Maybe if I've had 2-3 more laps, possibly, but you know, someone decided to turn right on the straightaway on the first lap, so it gave me a meatball and 3.5 minutes of damage. So still had about 1 minute 40 seconds left of damage at the end of the race, and lacking about 3 or 4 miles per hour at the end of the straights. So how I even managed to get up there and race those guys, and how I managed to get one of them and get P3, I have no idea. So you know, I was gonna be obviously not happy, but still, you know, if I can get into the top 20 in this race after this start, I was gonna be, you know, content and then wait for it over. But getting P3 here, I have no idea how I did it. So if we had a few more laps, I might have gotten, but Blix did a great job covering the top, so I don't think I would have got around him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, kind of talk us through that first lap contact. I think the 35 got up into you, and then that caused the 140 to hit the wall. But you said you got a meatball from that?
Yeah, I had a 38-second meatball, so that cost me a lap pretty much, plus a drive down pit lane. But I thought he'd lost the car coming off the corner on the first lap, because he can be pretty sketchy on the bottom. But now that I watched the replay, he just comes up as if I'm not there, and when we're 3 wide. So I have no idea what was going on there. Unfortunately, as well, he killed Andreas Olander in that same incident. So, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Still, overall, I think this was a great race for the league, having so much green flag running, and even though we had quite few cars compared to what we had earlier in the season, still had a lot of 3 wide and good racing up front all race long by the looks of it. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about that incident. We just would have liked to spend a bit more time up front in the last couple of laps.
Absolutely. Corey, did you have anything for Linus?
No.
Rock on. Linus, is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run here today and such an amazing recovery?
Well, first of all, of course, Moby Hyrbilar and the Team Force Esports and all our league sponsors, you guys for putting on the show, and almost everybody for keeping it clean and making this, I think, one of the best races of the season, entertainment-wise.
We absolutely had a blast up here, and hopefully you guys did down there as well.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Well, that was Linus Brostrom from third place joining us. That's going to about do it for us here live on Sim Racing Media after an absolute thriller here in Auto Club. 125 laps of white-knuckle, nail-biting excitement. These guys fought tooth and nail to the end. But in the end, Jonas Gunnarsson gets the job done. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on Sim Racing Media. If you guys are new here, we'll go ahead and plug it. Hope you guys subscribe, hit the bell so you guys never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing 7 nights a week, and we'd love to have you join us. That's going to do it. I'm Liam Irvig with Corey B up in the booth. So long. We'll catch you next time.